welcome back for the Neutral Zone Week 2. We are just a couple of weeks away from the NHL dropping the puck on the regular season. The preseason is in full swing. Let's go around and let's whip around the entire league. I am Adam Karnick, happy to be with you tonight here with my co-host Zachary Puplis. We are excited tonight. We are going to be bringing you the Western Conference. We're going to be going through all 16 teams, talking about who's going to be in the playoffs, who's rebuilding, who's right in the middle, and in the end, who might be raising the Campbell Bowl when all is said and done. I'm going to be taking on all the teams in the Central, from Minnesota to Chicago to Arizona and every place else. Zach, meanwhile, he's got the Pacific Division for us tonight. He's going to be looking at the Kings, the Ducks, and the newest NHL city, Seattle. We're looking at the Kraken. I'm excited to hear what we've got going on. All that and more. This is the Neutral Zone. Welcome in to episode 2 of the Neutral Zone. I am one of your hosts, Adam Karnick. Alongside me tonight is Zach Puplis. Zach, good evening.
Hey, Adam, how you doing?
Hi, it's another day. Made it through a week, and we couldn't have been too bad last week because they asked us to come back.
Another day closer to hockey, right?
Exactly. Hey, there we go. I saw the Blackhawks tweeted out they're starting off their home preseason slate tomorrow. United Center is going to be rocking. Going to be a lot of fun.
Exciting. I saw Seattle won their first preseason game over Vancouver.
They did all kinds of great stuff that we're going to be getting into tonight. So, last week was a lot of, laying the groundwork. Tonight we are going to be doing the work. We are going through the entire Western Conference tonight. I'm handling the Central Division. Zach has opted to handle the Pacific. Zach, you ready to do this?
Yes, sir. Let's get into it.
All right. Well, before we get too much further, of course, we've always got a little bit of housekeeping to take care of. First of all, we've got to acknowledge our sponsors for the night. First up, the Southern California Warriors semi-pro football team. Congratulations to the Warriors. They defeated the Las Vegas Saints over the weekend, 26-12. The world of semi-pro sports is unlike any other sports organizations. Players pay to play in hopes of so many different outcomes, whether it's playing to get filmed to try out for professional teams, big-time colleges, or just playing to stay in shape. No matter what, all semi-pro players have one thing in common, and that's playing for the love of the game. The Socal Warriors have been on a quest to earn titles and give players second chances since 2017. Whether you're in Southern California or anywhere in the world, give semi-pro sports a chance if you love your sport. You may get that second chance you have been waiting for as an athlete. Find them on Twitter at Socal Warriors, Instagram at Southern California_Warriors, or Facebook Southern California Warriors. And Background Check International Business. Are you looking to background check a new hire on? Let Kit Freeman take care of that for you. Kit founded and has managed Background Check International since 1994, and he's here to help you with the screening process. Contact Kit and let him help make the hiring process that much easier. This business is used for professional background checks and not for the use of any crimes such as identity theft or any other illegal activity. Go to their website, bcint.com, or find them on Facebook by searching Background Check International-BCI. And IE Sports, we are available, of course, on all the major social platforms at IE Sports Radio, whether that's Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, or check out our website, iesportsradio.com. And here at the Neutral Zone, we are available on Twitter as well. Find us at IESR Neutral Zone. I am on Twitter as well. You can follow along with me at Adam_Karnick. Zach is on Twitter as well at ThePupless. And without any further ado, then, let's get into this. So let's kind of lay down some ground rules here quick. Zach, how much time did we say we wanted to spend talking about teams tonight?
Oh, like 2-3 minutes, I think.
Two and a half minutes?
Each team.
Each team? All right, I'm going to have you help me stick to that because you know how I like to yabber.
What? Never.
I do. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. And while we're getting everything set up here too, if you are listening live here on the Spreaker app, please feel free, hop on in to the chat room. You just make an account for yourself. It's free. They're not looking for any money from you. You can make an account and hop on into the chat. Then we can interact and have some fun that way. Or if you just want to sit back and listen, that's fine. Let us entertain you. That is why we are here. All right, Zach, have you got a timer set for me?
Yes, sir.
All right. And then we've got all kinds of fun sound effects on here. Pick out your favorite one that'll let me know that I've run out of time. Thunder and lightning. All right, so when I hear the lightning, I know that I got to shut up and move on to the next team. All right. So here we go. Starting off, of course, have got the Central Division. I am going to start things off with the Arizona Coyotes tonight. So the Coyotes, of course, last season, they were in the Western Conference. They were in the Western Division a season ago. They went 24, 26, and 6 overall, which was good for 5th place in the West. So where does that leave them for this season? Well, they turned things around quite a bit. They are stripping it down to the studs and doing a full-on rebuild. First-year coach Andre Turigny has definitely got his work cut out for him to start the season. A lot of new players, a lot of young players. This is a team that, without being too harsh, this is probably going to be one of the bottom 4 or 5 teams, I think, in the league. Gone is goalie Darcy Kemper. He got traded off to the Avalanche. And also gone is Antti Ranta, who's now out in Carolina. Instead, you're going to be looking at Carter Hutton and Joseph Coronar to try and mind the net. Gone, they've got a young prospect, Ivan Prosvetov. We'll see if he comes up and makes his debut this year. You're looking just youth all across the board for Arizona, everywhere. You've got Jacob Churchin, 23-year-old defensiveman, who's there, going to be trying to do some things. All in all, though, this is a team that just not a whole lot is going to be expected of them this season. They're definitely trying to lay the groundwork for 2023, the 22-23 season or the 23-24 season. They sold off some veteran players. They acquired youth. Now it's just trying. It's almost like the baseball tank is what's happening in Arizona. Trying to stay competitive, see what they've got in some young players, but realistically, they're not going to be going very far this particular season. Looking at projected lineup for them from NHL.com, Nick Schmaltz centering the top line. He's been there for a few years. He's a veteran. Phil Kessel, he's a veteran. So you've got some veteran presence there. Clayton Keller playing the left wing.
Phil Kessel, formerly of Anaheim, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Whoop.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, so that does it for Arizona. Carter Hutton looking like he'll probably get the initial start at net. All in all, not looking strong for Arizona. Let's see. Next up in the Central Division, let's head over to Nashville. Let's take a look at what's going on with the Predators. A year ago, they were 31-23-2. Good enough for fourth place in the Central Division. There are a lot of teams in this division that were at a bunch of different places. You had teams in the Central, you had teams in the West, and you had teams in the North, all thanks to the wonderful COVID protocols that everybody had to deal with in their own unique way. Nashville was in the Central, though. Some big losses for them overall with Nashville. Nashville was strong defensively, but not necessarily super strong offensively a season ago. They were in the bottom third of the NHL in scoring. Not thinking that too much of that might change. You look at some guys that they lost. Eric Gunbrand and Eric Halla, couple of forwards that are gone. Only key forward addition, Michael Granlund. Another big loss for the Predators from a season ago, Pekka Rinne has retired. You know, the long-standing face of the Predators is no longer there. Being a Blackhawks fan myself, it's going to be odd going down to Nashville and not seeing Pekka. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be crying over Nashville for that. Nashville loves to be petty with the Blackhawks, in particular, because Blackhawks fans travel really well, and apparently Nashville doesn't like to have Blackhawks fans in their buildings. So I'm not going to cry over Nashville no longer having Pekka Rinne, but it is going to be odd to watch the Predators and not see Pekka in net. They made the playoffs a year ago, but I'm not sure if Nashville will be able to get back this year. Their defense should still be very strong overall, looking to kind of help in net for them this season. Whoops! I just went past all my notes of the goalies for the Predators. Let's see. David Rittich is probably going to start off as the backup. Saros. What's Saros' first name? Where did he go? Juice Saros is going to be back in net. He took over for Pekka Rinne quite a bit last year. He should start off as the starter in net. Overall, with Nashville, though, I feel like it's going to be a matter of you won't necessarily be able to score on them, but they're really going to struggle to consistently put pucks in the net. You know, you still got guys like Philip Forsberg, Ryan Johansson, Roman Josi are still there, but overall, the Predators, I feel like they're going to have a hard time scoring, and that's going to kind of be their undoing, which is going to be the opposite of some of the other teams we're going to look at in the Central. They could be a team that definitely could be looking at doing some selling later on this season, and there could be some divisional opponents eager to take up some things that they might be selling. Aha! I made it on time for that one. All right. Next up, let's head over to my Blackhawks. Jeez, just change everywhere on the roster for Chicago compared to last season. You've got new goalie Marc-Andre Fleury. That's one of the biggest additions. And took him by complete surprise.
Blindsided for sure.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I thought I was going to be in Vegas forever. What do you mean I'm in Chicago? I mean, he actually thought about retiring because he was. I didn't want to leave Vegas. What are you talking about?
You found out about it on Twitter.
Yeah. Ugh, you found out this was the same way the rest of us did. What do you mean I've been traded? What the? That's not right. That can't be.
Facebook will know you're single before you will.
It's, those kinds of things, exactly. Other big newcomers, the Jones brothers on defense, Caleb and Seth. Big trade acquisition to get Seth Jones over from Columbus. But then the other final big piece coming back, the captain is back, Jonathan Toews. I see you. I see you over there. Yeah, Mr. Red Wings fan over there, sticking your tongue out. Toews' absence was huge last year for the Blackhawks. It was a weird illness that he had too. I mean, it's like my sister's a nurse, so a lot of times when players get hurt or injuries or whatever, I'll turn to her. I say, what is this thing that he has? I have no idea. I've never heard of it before. Okay, that's not good. This is dead. And she told me, yeah, okay, so I looked it up, and all I'm seeing are articles about this hockey player. So,
well, I stick out my tongue in jest, but in reality, it's the same reason that Detroit fans and Chicago fans don't like Aaron Rodgers in football. We hate him because we ain't him.
Yeah, exactly. He's there. He's one of the best. Some big-time pieces gone, though. Adam Boqvist, Nikita Zadorov, Malcolm Subban, and Duncan Keith. Duncan Keith it makes sense, but I'm going to miss him. That first time he comes back to United Center, he's going to get a huge ovation. Overall, up and down for the Hawks. They're going to be up and down. They're young overall. They're a young team overall. There are going to be nights that they're going to look good. There are going to be nights that they're going to look very bad. Obviously having Toews and Doc back healthy for full seasons will help, but this defense is a bad defense. Andre Fleury will help, but it'll be interesting to see what this team is able to do this season. All right, so moving on from Chicago, who should I tackle next here, Zach? Should I do? Let's see, Minnesota or St. Louis?
St. Louis.
St. Louis, the Blues, 27-20-9 a season ago. They were fourth place in the West, just able to sneak into the playoffs, and then got swept out by Colorado. They're only 3 seasons away from being in the Cup final.
And winning the Cup.
But boy, it feels like that was a long time ago now, doesn't it?
Sure, yeah.
Especially with the way the team kind of played the last couple of years. They feel like that was a long time ago, not just, only 2 calendar years and only 3 seasons ago. Strong offense.
Last one to win the Cup before Tampa Bay went back to back.
Right, yeah. The most recent team other than Tampa to win the Cup. You're right. Yeah, geez. It really does just feel like a million years ago, though. The Blues are kind of the opposite of the Predators. How the Predators were, they're able to shut anybody down but have a hard time scoring. The Blues are almost the exact opposite of that. They averaged 3 goals a night, a goal a period last season. Fantastic, great. That'll play. Their defense was awful. Gave up almost 3 goals a night. Just a shade under what they were scoring was what they gave up. And their power play defense a season ago, 77% kill rate. 1 out of every 4 opponents' power plays was winding up in the back of their net. That you can't have that if you're St. Louis. And they really didn't do anything to fix it. I mean, they've got some nice pieces they've brought in. Pavel Buchnevich and Brandon Saad, a couple of nice forwards, but didn't really do anything to help a defense that was already bad, and they lost some pieces off of that defense. Vince Dunn is gone from that defense. Didn't really do anything to help in net either. Jordan Binnington is back. He was a huge part in them winning the Cup in 2019, but he's been okay since then. So,
Side note, Larry says go Ducks.
Well, we will get there. And Zach is going to tell us all about the Ducks in a little bit there, Larry. Quack, quack. Anytime
So hold your horses.
anytime I hear the Ducks, I think of Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck arguing in Space Jam over the ridiculousness of the name. What kind of Mickey Mouse organization is called that? But the Blues are... I see the Blues as being able to score enough to win regular season games, but if they get into the playoffs, they're going to struggle. They're going to have a hard time. I think they could be in for a quick postseason exit again. All right, so you picked the Blues. Now you get to hear about the Minnesota Wild.
Larry says, hey.
Quack, quack, Larry. Quack, quack. The Wild a season ago, 35, 16, and 5, and they were hanging out in the Western Division. They've got to feel good coming back home to the Central. I'm sure their fans appreciate it. My in-laws are all in Minnesota. I'm sure they appreciate being able to. They don't have to stay up till 9 o'clock or 9:30 just to see the puck drop to start the game. That was. For St. Louis too, that was kind of the NHL did them kind of dirty by taking Minnesota and St. Louis and saying, "Yeah, you're in the Western, you're in the West Division this year. You get to play Anaheim and Los Angeles every night. Yeah, you'll win, but good luck staying up to see them, fans. Drink lots of coffee.
Brutal.
Lots of coffee tonight, but." Third place in the Western Division a season ago. Ultimately lost to the Knights. Took the Knights the full distance, 7 games, but ultimately wound up short. Biggest addition. I was talking a little bit to AJ today. She does our Minnesota show, Frozen Takes, on Thursday nights. So I was talking with her a little bit today to make sure that I wasn't missing anything obvious when talking about the team. The big thing, the big addition is Kirill Kaprizov. 27 goals, 24 assists a season ago. They got him locked up. They've got him signed. He's in. He's back. But they bought out 2 long-time mainstays of the organization. Zach Parise and Ryan Suter are both gone.
Oh, man.
So Suter stayed in the division. They will get to see Suter many times this season. I believe he wound up. Yeah, I think he wound up in Colorado.
Yeah, those are 2 huge losses. Holy crap!
Yeah, big losses there for them. This is a team kind of in flux a little bit. I feel like they could just as easily make the playoffs as miss, and we'll get into it a little bit later as we wrap up the night talking about the playoffs a little bit. They're going back to the kind of middle, more recent way of doing the playoffs, of having the top 3 teams in each division and then wild cards from there. I could see the Wild anywhere from being in the playoffs solidly as a 2 or 3. I could see them being wild card 2 out of the West. Anything's there. They gave up a lot of scoring chances a year ago, but they were bad scoring chances. They understood where to let teams shoot and where not to let teams shoot. So they're going to be an interesting team to look at and try to figure out there in Minnesota.
Sure.
Let's see. We got 3 left here. Zach, not Arizona, Colorado, Dallas, and Winnipeg. Who do you want to hear next?
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg, the Jets. They, of course, were in the North Division a season ago. Oh, Canada.
Oh, the Great White North, eh?
The great Winnipeg, that's the team where they let everybody leave the stadium after the second period to go turn on their cars so that they can leave at the end of the night.
Right.
I love that about Winnipeg. Yep, okay, everybody go out. You have to warm up your car. If you don't, you're stuck here and we're not housing you.
Right.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. This is a team that's over the last few seasons, they've really been building. I don't know. I don't know if they're ready to take that jump or not. It looks on paper like they could be. They seem to have a solid defense. They seem to have a solid offense. Not necessarily huge, big names across the league. You've still got Hollebuck. Yep. They're in net. Good goal, above average goalie.
Yeah. He did really well in the playoffs.
He did.
They were sweeping everybody.
He did. He did. A season ago, it was kind of like, wait a minute, what are the Jets still doing here? This is like when the big boys are playing. What are the Jets still doing on my television? This is kind of crazy.
They're Cinderella, and it's 12:05.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's wait a minute. It's we're bordering on 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. Why is Cinderella still at the ball? But the glass slipper, almost fit until it didn't. But made it to the quarterfinal round. Third place overall in the North, and there were fans and people of Winnipeg that felt like they underachieved a season ago. So they're going to be really, really interesting to just keep an eye on. Guys like Blake Wheeler and Mark Scheifele. Are these guys going to be able to hold up over a full season now? They were just in a shortened season a year ago. What do we expect from Winnipeg? They're going to be an interesting one. Winnipeg's another one that I could see them going anywhere from like 2 to 5 in the Central. They could finish just all over the dang map in there. But Winnipeg's going to be very, very interesting. They needed help on defense a season ago. That was something that everybody was saying they needed help on. Give them credit. They went out and got help on defense. So, Brandon Dillon and Nate Schmidt, 2 good blue liners. We'll see. The Jets are going to be very interesting to pay attention to and watch this season. They're going to be kind of fun. All right, so we got Colorado, and we got who did I say was there? And Dallas left out of here. Who do we do? Who do we do next, Zach? Who do we want to do next?
We gotta go Colorado.
Colorado, they have the reigning President's Trophy winners. The curse of winning the President's Trophy. You the best team in the whole dang league. Almost a lock that unless you're the Capitals, you're just basically a lock to miss the Stanley Cup final. Then.
Yeah, Tampa Bay got swept that one year.
Exactly. I think the Hawks, if I remember right, the Hawks, one of the years that they won the President's Trophy one year and did not go like they hoped. 39-13-4 a season ago. Obviously, they were the best team in the West because they were the best team in the whole dang league. Some new faces, some leaving faces. Brandon Saad mentioned how he's in St. Louis. Well, that means he's no longer in Colorado. Darcy Kemper from previously Arizona. Well, he's now in Colorado, going to take over in net for the Avalanche this year. Some different pieces, guys moving around, but that top line is the same. Nathan McKinnon is still there, centering that top line. Gabriel Landeskog, Mikko Rantanen, still there. The Avalanche are going to be just fine. There's nothing to be worried or concerned or upset about there if you're a Colorado fan. Yes, You don't have Philip Grubauer anymore, but you got Darcy Kemper. That's not a bad consolation prize. You know, I was talking with Gary, who does our Made in Colorado show on Saturdays, and he was singing praises. Expectations are high for Colorado this year. This is like a cup or bust year. Yeah, if you're Colorado.
Don't forget about Cale Makar. I found it fascinating years ago when he was playing for Massachusetts in the Frozen Four, and he got drafted, you know, a couple weeks later, and then was already playing in the Stanley Cup playoffs, you know, weeks apart from each other. It's so rare that you see that, especially with the normal, you know, the other big sports, with NFL and NBA and MLB. You have to wait months, if not years, to see the guys when they actually, between draft and actually playing.
Mm-hmm. And here, okay, kid, you just went from college, and here's the Stanley Cup playoffs. No
pressure.
Yeah, no pressure, no big deal or anything. It's just the toughest hockey you'll possibly ever play in your life. You know, yeah, just go get it, kid.
Hey, so far so good for him, you know.
Sometimes they're just so young. They're too young to realize that this moment should be too big for them.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't realize that this should be hard.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. Yep. And then, last but not least, out of the Central, we've got the Dallas Stars. 23, 19, and 14 a year ago. They were in the Central last season. A weird up and down year for the Stars. And they were in the Cup final in 2020, lost to Tampa Bay. Missed the playoffs a year ago, but obviously everybody last year, you know, the last couple of years have been weird for everybody. Thank you, COVID. It was especially weird if you were Dallas. First of all, the entire NHL gets realigned. Dallas had a COVID breakout on the team, so they were immediately just reshuffling and rearranging their entire schedule. Then you had the state of Texas freeze over and lose power, so they couldn't play games then. So now you're having to reshuffle the reshuffle. Suffice to say, you could understand why Dallas felt as a team like it just could never get its feet under it and struggled. They were one of those teams that just always kind of had a hard time. Still finished with more wins than losses in regulation. Still finished above the point spread there, below true 500. But in hockey, that above that hockey 500. Going to be interesting to see what they do in net, because Ben Bishop is still not 100%. He's still dealing with some nagging injuries. So they've got 3 guys competing for what they hope is basically the backup spot once Ben Bishop becomes healthy. Anton Hudobin, Jake Ottner, and Braden Holtby. Holtby and Hudobin, of course, are well-known names.
Hudobin, 2 years ago in the series, he did really well.
Mm-hmm. So
and Holtby came from Capitals, right?
Yes, Braden Holtby came over from Washington. Yes,
wow.
And then Jake Ottinger. I was listening on the way in tonight. Ottinger might be the guy who wins it because he's just young and potential. And hey, at the end of the day, we want this guy to ultimately be a backup and maybe only go out there once or twice a week. Yeah, we can live with the kid in the meantime. So they are taking the backup goalie spot seriously in Dallas. Ryan Suter signed a 4-year deal to come over from formerly of Minnesota. So we were talking about Suter earlier. He's in Dallas. So going to try to shore up that blue line a little bit. At 36 years old, I don't know if he'll be a top 4 defender like he was for Minnesota, but you ask him to go out there 20, 22 minutes, I bet you he can shore that up for you if you're Dallas. Health in general was an issue for the Stars last season too. So if they can stay healthy, they're a team that I think could easily vie for the playoffs out of the West. Top to bottom, the Central's tough. It's going to be a tough division. There's going to be a lot of good teams in the Central. The Central's always one of those divisions that teams are good. Teams are good out of. I think this season is going to be no exception at all. All right, I did a lot of yammering. We got to take a quick break, and then, Zach, you are going to tell us all about the Pacific Division. This is the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Back in a minute.
What is going on, everybody? This is Ben Metello, the host of the Yinza Report, right here on IE Sports Radio. I'm bringing you the latest in the Steel City, the City of Champions, from the Steelers, the Penguins, the Pirates, as well as the college game with both Penn State and Pitt. You could join me every Tuesday afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, right here on IE Sports Radio, where I'll be talking about everything from the Steel City, the City of Champions, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Shores of the Puget Sound to the rushing waters of the Columbia River, stretching across the Great Cascades, and on IE Sports Radio lives the Northwest Territory Sports Show, hosted by me, Brad Buckingham. On this show, I cover all the great collegiate and professional sport teams that we have here in the Pacific Northwest. Of course, I'm talking about the Seattle Seahawks, Seattle Mariners, Sounders, and even the Seattle Kraken. But I can't forget all of that is good in Oregon either. I got the Trailblazers, the Oregon Ducks, the Beavers, even the Timbers, and much, much more. You can listen to the show every Sunday from 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern, noon to 1 p.m. Pacific on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the Socal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS, the Socal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back to the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio. We've been talking about the NHL Western Conference preview. That was Adam Karnick earlier. He was previewing the Central Division. I'm Zach Puplis, and I'll be previewing the Pacific Division. Well, Adam, where do you think you'd like to start out?
I want to hear about Seattle. I want to know about the Kraken.
Let's do it. So Seattle comes into the league. They have the same beneficial draft rules that Vegas had. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if they can duplicate the same kind of success that Seattle has. They decided to change things versus what they had years ago, 20 years ago when they brought in Minnesota and Columbus to the league, and because they just didn't have much sustained success. So we'll see what happens. Some of the noteworthy players here, they got Yanni Gourde from Tampa Bay, Jaden Schwartz and Vince Dunn, both from St. Louis, and then Jonas Donskoy and Philip Grubauer from Colorado. So it definitely has a Seattle. Seattle will definitely have a Colorado and St. Louis flair to it. What do you think, Ken? Do you think they'll be able to duplicate the same kind of success Vegas has?
No, because the rest of the GMs were smart and realized just how dumb they were 5 years ago with Vegas and didn't let all the good players go this time like they did a few years ago. But
Fool me once.
exactly. Fool me once. Yep. Pretty much.
I wondered when Montreal had Carey Price on the chopping block there. I wondered if he'd go to Seattle, if they'd bite.
I'm shocked they didn't, but oh well. All right.
And speaking of Seattle, so with them joining the league, they needed to make an extra spot, so that pushed Arizona over into what'll now be the Central.
Being a fan of a Central team, thank you for the extra wins this season.
They're right. Okay, next. Let's keep rolling. We'll talk about Vegas. Last year they went 40-14-2, and they lost in the conference finals to Montreal. Weird conference finals, but anyways, COVID all considered. The core players they bring back: William Karlsson, Jonathan Marchessault, Max Pacioretty, Mark Stone, Alex Tuck, Alex Pietrangelo, who came over from St. Louis a year or two ago, I want to say. Mm-hmm. Robin Lehner, what's he called, the Panda?
Yeah.
The biggest loss is definitely going to be Marc-Andre Fleury. I mean, that was such a jaw-dropping trade. We had no idea. What do you think? Can they? I mean, they've been in the league for 4 or 5 years now. What do you think they can? You think they can break through to win a cup?
I don't see any reason why they couldn't. They made it to the Cup final their first year. Surprise. Then they showed that wasn't really a fluke. That they're a legit team. Yeah, I see no reason why Vegas couldn't make a nice deep run in the playoffs. Yeah,
they're the Green Bay Packers of the last couple of years. They'll get to the conference finals and then lose.
well, there is that. There is that side of it. Yeah, but yeah, absolutely. Vegas is legit. They are a legit team. Absolutely.
Yeah. Next, I want to talk about Edmonton. Last year, they went 35-19-2, and they were swept by Winnipeg in the playoffs, the first round. They bring back Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and as Adam was talking about earlier, the biggest addition is Duncan Keith from the Blackhawks, and again, that was a jaw-dropping trade. I had no idea.
It made me feel good to know that Dunk's going to Edmonton. It's going to be a great place for him.
That's good. Like you were kind of saying before the show, he's got is close to his family. That he's going to a franchise that's ready to win right now, and he brings lots of intangibles. Good leadership. He's a strong player, etc.
Yeah, he could still be a top 4 defenseman on a playoff caliber team. He maybe won't necessarily be in the top pairing, but he'll certainly be in that top 4, which for them is huge. Is huge. Edmonton's made a couple early exits in the playoffs the last couple of years. They're ready to take that next step.
Yeah. And with this addition, do you think they'll be able to advance to the playoffs? Maybe get to the conference final or something?
I would think so. Yeah, especially in that division, they should easily make the playoffs. And yeah, if they can gel in time, they're a team to watch out for in the West, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, they've definitely been improving the last couple of years, and being a Red Wings fan, it's been interesting to see what Ken Holland's been up to as the GM up there.
Good things.
Next, let's talk about Calgary. So they were in the playoffs last year. They went 26, 27, and 3. They bring back Matthew Tkachuk, Johnny Gaudreau, and I don't know if this guy's a returning player or not, but I liked his name, Cameron. Why not?
That's a hockey name if I ever heard one. Why not? Why not? Get after it. Why not?
And, they've been a perennial playoff team the last couple of years. So, the question is, okay, can they advance in the playoffs? And, Cameron has the right answer. Why not?
Why not? He's the answer to every question Coach asks. Why
not? Next, we'll go to Anaheim. They were 17-30-9 this past year. They bring back Ryan Getzlaf, and then they also added Ali Eriksson-Ek from Minnesota. So, I don't know, 5-10 years ago, and they seem to be in the playoffs every single year, and they're always a tough, tenacious team, always giving everybody a fight. But, yeah, what do you think? Can they make it back to the playoffs?
The Pacific Division is in the Western Conference, in my opinion, it's definitely the weaker of the two. So it's not necessarily going to take as much to be a good enough team to get in, finish in one of those top 3 spots.
Sure.
But they're an older team, I feel like. And I'm sure Larry's cringing as he hears this, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what the Ducks are able of this year go around. I'm not holding out faith for them too much.
Sure. Okay. That being said, let's move on to San Jose. They went 21-28-7 last year. Missed the playoffs after being in the playoffs the last, I don't know, probably 3 or 4, 5 years maybe. I know they went to the Cup final against Pittsburgh, and that was, 2016?
Something like that, yeah. Few years back. They've been one of those teams that they've been in the playoffs a lot the last 10 years, but never doing a whole lot in the playoffs. Always coming up a little short.
Yeah. They bring back Logan Couture, Thomas Hertl, Patrick Marleau, Evander Kane, Erik Karlsson, and my favorite, Mark-Edward Vlasic. Hopefully he's sponsored by Vlasic Pickles.
The Evander Kane thing for this offseason, though, that has been just so weird with him. You heard about all that with his wife, right? With his ex-wife?
I didn't.
Oh, the two of them have been...
loggerheads, huh?
She accused him of betting on his games, kind of basically doing a Pete Rose of hockey. And Kane is basically, no, this is my wife trying to make me look bad. This is my ex-wife trying to make me look bad in public.
Oh, my God.
It's been a thing out there. Like, the NHL's had to get involved and look into it. And, it's been a thing.
I was unaware. Holy crap.
Yeah, it's been weird. So I'm sure he's just happy to be on the ice, and all he has to worry about is pucks,
Right, yeah. Who was their other player, the one who was in Toronto last year? No, I think he went somewhere else because he's chasing a cup. He's getting up there. The name escapes me right now.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, names running away from me at the moment too. But yeah, they've had a couple of those guys who just understandable. Go catch a cup.
Joe Thornton.
That's right. Yeah, Joe Thornton. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. We knew he would come to us eventually. So,
Yeah, well, I mean, like you said, they were a perennial playoff contender the first 5 years of this decade, and you think they can make it back, or same kind of answers, Anaheim?
Same kind of answers. I like San Jose a little bit more than I do Anaheim.
They seem to have a lot of strong players. I mean, from what I listed.
Who is their goalie heading into this season? Who they got in net?
Oh, let's look here.
While he's doing that, I wonder if Gina is listening tonight. Gina handles Northern California for us, repping in NorCal. She's usually on Mondays. She was on earlier today, in fact. So if she's listening, getting some Shark tidbits, I know she's kind of newer to the NHL game, but she catches on quick.
A couple names, nothing that I really recognize. Aiden Hill, James Reimer, Benjamin Gaudreau.
Yeah, okay, so they're...
Possibly related to Johnny Gaudreau.
Okay, so they're... All right, so learning on-the-job training in net. Hey, all right.
There's two Zacharys. I should know this.
You should know these guys.
Zachary Sawchenko and Zachary Emond.
So, yeah, some on-the-job training going on then in net. Got to have good blue liners then.
Yeah.
Got to have good blue liners. Or just play offense the whole game.
Yeah, exactly. Next, let's stick in Southern California. L.A. They bring back Anze Kopitar, Drew Doughty, Jonathan Quick. He's always been a really decent goalie. Two additions. They got Victor Arvidsson from Nashville, so he should be an interesting addition.
Victor, yes.
And one of my former Red Wings, Andreas Athanaseu. He was a really decent, rookie or younger player for us the last couple of years.
You got through that name. Congratulations.
Well, I've only heard it 100 times. Andreas Athanaseu. Hey, if I could say DJ Uyunglele, I think I could say Andreas Athanaseu.
This is true.
But yeah, same deal. I mean, they were a really good team the first couple of years of this decade. I mean, they won the cup in 12 and 14. But they've seemed to miss the playoffs almost every year since. So there was definitely a drop off there.
Yes, they got old fast.
It seemed like they were alternating cups with the Blackhawks.
They were. There was an awesome dynasty went on at the beginning of the last decade between the Hawks and the Kings, whereas that's the Western Conference Final every year, and it's just which one of them is going to win it. But yeah, the Kings got old really fast, and have still not quite bounced back from that yet.
Yeah. I feel like Vegas is kind of taking the mantle from them, or San Jose.
Yes, absolutely Vegas. Yeah, all the way.
Yeah. Last but not least, we got Vancouver. And LA was 21, 28, and 7 as well last season. Same location as not as San Jose. Just kidding. Same record as San Jose. But same state.
Same
there we go.
State, same location. It's California. They're all really crammed in tight there.
Right. Could probably break it into 6 states, Anyways, last but not least,
Larry's definitely turning over now. He's in California. His ears definitely just perked up.
Anaheim's the one I was thinking. Same city basically. There we go.
Basically.
Last but not least, we got Vancouver. They were 23, 29, and 4 last season. They bring back JT Miller, and they've got some new additions: Luke Shen from Tampa Bay, and Yaroslav Halak from Boston as their goalie. So we'll see what happens there. We'll see if they can get back to being competitive and, maybe have a shot at the playoffs. You were kind of talking about Arizona and the baseball method, tanking for Tua, if you will. So I wonder if Vancouver, if things start to turn bad, then maybe they, use it to their benefit.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, definitely. Vancouver's another one of those that they're headed to the bottom as quick as they can to try to rebound and bounce back up.
Yeah.
through the division. Well done, sir. Woo! All right. Well, we've just got a couple of minutes left. So, let's just break down who do we like coming out of the playoffs? Who do you like coming out of the playoffs in the Pacific first? And remember, the playoffs this year, it's the top 3 teams in the division automatically get in, and then the 2 wild card spots.
So there's 5 for each division?
So the top three from each division get in, so you get 6, and then your bottom 2 are wild cards, which you come from either division.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, my projected order finish, I would say Vegas, Edmonton, Calgary, and then Seattle at 4, LA at 5, San Jose at 6, Anaheim at 7, and Vancouver at 8. Sorry, Larry. Playoffs, so yeah, I would say Vegas and Edmonton, Calgary, maybe Seattle, maybe LA.
Yeah, they're gonna be fringe teams. Out in the Central, Colorado's got to be number 1, and then I'll go with Winnipeg 2. Then for 3, I'll actually go Dallas. I like the Stars. I think they're going to rebound and lock into a playoff spot. St. Louis 4, Minnesota 5, Chicago 6. I'm pained to say Chicago 6 and not Chicago 5, but Minnesota and Chicago are going to be eking it out for the number 5 spot. But give me Minnesota 5, Chicago 6, Nashville 7, and then Arizona a very distant 8.
They're just playing to keep their house.
Exactly. They just want to keep their house. So all right. So I think St. Louis claims a wild card spot. So who gets the final wild card spot? Do you see Seattle being a first year team making it in, or does it go to Minnesota?
Ooh, I'm gonna lean Seattle.
Lean Seattle. I like your thinking. I'm certainly going to root for it, to be sure, to have new blood in the playoffs, have